So, stop everything. Stop scrolling. Stop whatever errand was tugging at the corner of your mind 10 seconds ago. Because what I am about to tell you about Hollywood's most photographed couple is going to permanently change the way you look at every magazine cover, every red carpet, and every glossy paparazzi shot you have ever seen of them again. They hate her. They do not dislike her. They do not find her a little bit annoying. They do not just want her out of their business and out of their orbit. They hate her. And by they, I do not mean some scattered, jealous corner of the internet. I am talking about the most powerful women in Hollywood, the wives of the most powerful men in Hollywood, the gatekeepers of the most coveted invitations in the world. Nicole Event, the wife of Netflix boss Ted Sarandos. Anna Wintour, the immovable queen of Vogue. Lauren Sánchez, the new Mrs. Bezos. The entire Kardashian dynasty. Bella Bajaria at Netflix. These are not minor players. These are women who can build a career with a single nod or end one with a single quiet phone call. And woman by woman, they have turned. They have closed the door. They have stopped returning the calls. They have unfollowed, untagged, unliked, and uninvited. Now, before this story is over, I am going to walk you through exactly how it happened. I'm going to give you the names. I'm going to give you the moments. I am going to give you the precise insult that ended each relationship. I am going to take you inside the Daily Mail investigation that just brought this entire sorry picture into the open. And then I am going to pivot, because parallel to this Hollywood disaster, on the other side of the Atlantic, the British royal family is doing something extraordinary. Something so calm, so quiet, and so devastatingly effective that by the time you understand what is actually happening, you may never look at this story the same way again. What is happening, you will see why this is the moment the entire 7-year drama tilts on its axis. So stay with me. Pour yourself a strong drink, settle in, because what is happening to Meghan Markle right now is not random. It is not a streak of bad luck. It is the slow, inevitable closing of the door, and I am about to show you exactly how it is being closed, hinge by hinge. Let me begin with the document that pulled the whole picture together. The Daily Mail's editor-at-large, Alison Boshoff, has just released the most scathing investigation we have seen all year into why the women of Hollywood have turned, in lockstep, against Meghan Markle, and the details are absolutely shocking. We have been reporting most of these threads for months on this channel, but to see them gathered, woven, sourced, and laid out side by side in a single piece is a completely different experience. It is the kind of reporting that does not just describe a fall. It maps it. Start with this. Even though Meghan has plenty of fashion ambitions and plenty of fashion pretensions, and as we shall see, fashion is one of the revenue streams she is hoping will help fund the entire Montecito lifestyle, the pair have once again failed to secure an invitation to the Met Gala. The Met Gala, the most photographed evening in fashion, the single event Meghan Markle has been chasing for years, refused. Refused twice in a row. And not just the Met Gala. The Montecito duo were also, unsurprisingly, absent from every single event during King Charles's recent state visit to the United States. The fundraisers, the dinners, the receptions, the garden parties, the entire week of British high society moving through American power. Empty chairs. Crickets. Nothing for the Sussexes. Nothing. And, as if to underline their persona non grata status even further, listen to this carefully. Even Prince Harry's boyhood friend, Guy Pelly, was at a White House garden party with his wife that same week. Yes, the same Guy Pelly who was by Harry's side when he notoriously dressed up as a Nazi at that infamous fancy dress party back in 2005. Guy Pelly is in. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are out. Let that sit with you for a moment. The teenage tearaway who was photographed standing next to a future king in a swastika armband is now considered an acceptable face at the highest table in Washington. Then we have President Donald Trump himself, who reinforced the entire Sussex unpopularity narrative by remarking to British journalist Robert Hardman that Harry had done too many things to come back into the fold of his family, before adding, "That wife of his, boy, what has she done to that guy?" Read that line again. The President of the United States standing inside the Oval Office, asking out loud what Meghan Markle has done to Prince Harry. When a president is publicly puzzling over the wreckage of your marriage, You have a problem that no Spotify deal can fix. Okay, pay close attention to this next part, because this is where the Daily Mail report gets specific, and the picture turns from awkward to catastrophic. The source describes the entire situation as one of wall-to-wall fallouts and alienation. Put simply, in the circles that actually matter, the circles where invitations get sent, deals get signed, and futures get decided, Meghan and Harry no longer have any bridges left to burn. One source said, and I am quoting directly from the report, "They have truly lost the plot. I hear she is spiraling badly because she knows nothing is working. The whole thing about her always selling out is not true anymore. I do not think either of them are happy." End quote. And the source goes even further. The source tells the Daily Mail that the couple's problems are actually worse than most people realize. People suspect the situation is actually worse than it appears, precisely because of Meghan and Harry's unfortunate habit of falling out, again and again, with the very people who could have helped them make a success of things financially. So let me walk you through it, name by name, fallout by fallout, because this is where the story becomes genuinely devastating. Start with Anna Wintour, the queen of Vogue, the most powerful woman in fashion, the woman who decides who lives and who dies on the front row of every major show in New York, London, Milan, and Paris. Meghan pledged her allegiance to Edward Ninful, who was, at the time, the editor of British Vogue, and in doing so, she reportedly angered Anna Wintour. The irony, of course, the beautiful, almost cosmically perfect irony, is that Meghan is now also falling out with Edward Ninful for reasons that have never been fully made public. So, she backed one horse in the Vogue wars. The horse lost. And then she fell out with the horse anyway. You could not write a more humiliating sequence of events if you tried. The source in the Boshoff report goes on to say, and I am quoting verbatim, "Anna hates her. Meghan does not want to pay and never returns things." The source continued, "Also, Anna loves the royal family. She is a dame. Anna would have hated how the Sussexes handled their exit from the firm." End quote. Worryingly for Meghan, the famously icy Anna Wintour apparently never forgives and never forgets. So even though Meghan's friendship with Edward Ninful is also now reportedly over, there is no quiet route back into Anna Wintour's good graces. The door is shut, bolted, welded. And here is the part that makes the whole thing feel almost surreal. Edward Ninful was actually in New York last week at a gala with King Charles. Read that again. The man Meghan backed against Anna Wintour is still moving in the highest circles. He is still photographed with the king. He is still relevant. He just is not relevant to her anymore. So she picked the wrong horse, lost the right horse, and ended up with nothing. Now to Lauren Sánchez. And listen very carefully here, because this may be the most catastrophic miscalculation in the entire Meghan Markle portfolio. There is plenty of chatter floating around at the moment about whether celebrities like Meryl Streep really want to attend the Met Gala because of Anna Wintour's connection to Jeff Bezos through Amazon. Trust me, Meghan Markle wants to be at the Met Gala. She wants it desperately. She looks at Lauren Sánchez, the wife of Jeff Bezos, the newly crowned social queen of the American elite. The Mediterranean wedding, the yacht, the fashion campaigns, the full billionaire shimmer surrounding the Bezos empire, and Meghan thinks, I want a little bit of what she has. But here is what the Daily Mail report actually tells us. According to the report, Meghan snubbed Lauren Sánchez before the Bezos wedding. The exact quote is this: Meghan was invited to things by Lauren and did not want to go. She did not want to be seen with her because she thought she was trashy. 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 Coming from the woman who has built her entire post-royal career on some of the most desperate and transparent magazine cover grifts the modern celebrity world has ever seen. Calling Lauren Sánchez trashy is the kind of cosmic, jaw-dropping snobbery that has to be heard out loud to be believed. And it cost her. It cost her the invitation. It cost her access to Jeff Bezos. It cost her access to what may become the most photographed wedding of the decade. And here is the part that should make her sit upright in the middle of the night, alone in that big house in Montecito. Queen Rania of Jordan was at the Bezos wedding. So was her son, Crown Prince Hussein. So was Princess Rajwa. There may have been one or two more royals as well. Real royalty. working royalty. They were inside that wedding. While Meghan Markle, the woman who once stood at the center of the British royal family, was not. The Duchess who once tried to redefine modern royal fame sat in Montecito, watching the photographs scroll past on her phone. Trashy? Was it Meghan? Trashy was the bar that kept you out of the room where actual queens were seated. Now to the Kardashians. And the Kardashian situation is slightly more nuanced. I would not necessarily reach for the word hate, but are the Kardashians over Meghan? Absolutely. Alison Boshoff agreed, writing, and I am quoting directly, "The Kardashians have had enough of Harry and Meghan. They are over them." End quote. If you were trying to build a lifestyle business from scratch on the back of social media, it would be enormously useful to be friends with the most followed people on the planet. But Kris Jenner has not liked a single post on Meghan's Instagram pages since last year. Not one like, not one tap. The polite Hollywood freezing has begun. And among the Kardashians, the polite Hollywood freeze is always the first move. The actual ice age comes next. And then we arrive at the showstopper, the piece de resistance of the entire fallout list. Nicole Avant, the wife of Ted Sarandos, the boss of Netflix, the man who personally signed the deal that was supposed to make Harry and Meghan the king and queen of streaming content. To be fair to Sarandos, the Daily Mail report acknowledges that he genuinely did try to help Meghan and Harry save face. He invited them to an event in April for the second season of the prestige Netflix drama Beef. And yet again, it all went wrong. Pictures of Harry and Meghan from that event were removed by Getty Images just 24 hours after they were published, even though Netflix itself had approved every single one of them. The theory, according to the report, is that Meghan did not like the way she appeared in those photographs. Specifically, she did not like how she looked while clinging to Nicole Avant in the shots. Clinging. That is the word used in the report. The word used in the report is clinging. And so, the pictures were pulled from Getty Images against the wishes of Netflix, the very company that had invited them in the first place. And here comes the line that should be carved into the front door of every Hollywood public relations firm in America. Nicole Avant hates her. So does Bella Bajaria, the head of content at Netflix. And the report adds, carefully, so does Ted Sarandos himself. The Sussex team was apparently briefing against one of the Netflix executives behind the scenes. It is not entirely clear whether that briefing was done on the Sussex's direct orders or by overzealous handlers acting independently. Either way, the damage is done. Netflix knows. Ted Sarandos knows. Nicole Avant knows. And every single one of them has filed it away. The source in the report puts it bluntly. Unless someone is useful to them through money or unwavering attention, the Sussexes always fall out with them. They are worse at dealing with people than they are at business. And that, I promise you, is saying a lot. So here is the Hollywood landscape as it actually stands tonight. The wife of Netflix? Done. The wife of Jeff Bezos? Done. The queen of Vogue? Done. The Kardashian empire? Done. The doors are not closing because of bad luck. The doors are closing because of choices. Specific, deliberate, snobbish, calculated choices that Meghan Markle made one by one over the last 6 years. And the deeper truth, the truth I really want you to sit with for a moment, is this. For 6 years, ever since the day they walked away from the British royal family, Harry and Meghan have been almost continuously based in Hollywood. 6 years. 6 years of access. 6 years of opportunity. 6 years of every major door in the entertainment world opening, at least once, for them. And what do they actually have to show for it? Aside from a woe is me documentary and a single memoir, what is the trophy on the shelf? There is no breakthrough show. There is no breakout brand. There is no scaled business empire. There is only the lifestyle brand that was reportedly built almost entirely with Netflix infrastructure in the first place. A brand that Meghan then claimed, in interview after interview, as though she had built it herself. And now, Netflix appears to have quietly handed it back to her, perhaps because Netflix itself is done with the mess. 6 years. That is the timer. 6 years of constantly clinging. Constantly grifting off other people's planes, other people's mansions, other people's social access, and other people's hard-won connections, while never really offering anything of equal value in return. When you are a working senior royal, you can offer access in return. You can offer the implicit weight of the institution. You can offer history, continuity, and proximity to the king. But the moment King Charles arrived in the United States last week and Harry and Meghan were nowhere to be seen, the entire premise of their Hollywood usefulness collapsed in public. Because the unspoken theory in certain Hollywood circles had always been this: maybe, if we get close to Harry and Meghan, we can somehow get close to the king himself. The state visit settled that question. The state visit answered it once and for all. And the answer was no. The lack of self-awareness is what truly stuns me. Meghan Markle damaged the relationship with Sánchez, and by extension Jeff Bezos, because she reportedly looked down on Sánchez. She thought Sánchez was trashy. Now, we can have a separate conversation about Sánchez. We can debate the optics. We can debate the wedding. But by almost any honest measurement, the public moves Meghan Markle has made over the last 6 years have appeared far more desperate and far more damaging to her image. The level of desperation. The desperation Meghan Markle radiates from nearly every frame of every Netflix special is, by many people's standards, far more damaging to her image than anything Sánchez has ever been accused of. And as a direct result of that snobbery, that breathtaking, oblivious, self-destructive snobbery, Meghan Markle has seemingly cut herself off from the entire Bezos universe. The wedding, the yacht, the Met Gala, the infrastructure, the friendship of a woman married to one of the richest men on the planet. And the timing makes it feel almost cinematic. Meghan Markle reportedly wanted to become a billionaire. She wanted, by her own account in early Hollywood meetings, to build a global lifestyle empire on the scale of Goop, on the scale of the Kardashians, on the scale of the Bezos universe itself. So what did she do? She alienated the billionaire's wife. She alienated the most followed family on the planet. She alienated the most powerful editor in fashion. She alienated some of the most powerful executives in streaming. That is not a strategy. That is demolition. Hold that picture in your head, because we are about to pivot. The Hollywood collapse is only half the story. The other half, the half playing out on the other side of the Atlantic, may be even more devastating. While Meghan is being frozen out of Beverly Hills, watch what is happening to Prince Harry in the United Kingdom. Watch what unfolded during the state visit. Let me take you inside that moment, because King Charles arrived in the United States during the very same week as everything I have just described. And he delivered a state dinner speech that was, depending on how you choose to read it, either a tender homage to the deep historical bonds between Britain and America, or one of the most surgically precise public humiliations of Prince Harry in modern royal history. Personally, I think it was the second. I think the king knew exactly what he was doing. I think the king knew exactly what he was doing, and I think the people watching most closely knew it too. Here is what happened. The king stood at the dinner, looked out across the gathered guests, and began talking about how looking at a map of the United States felt, to him, like looking through a family Christmas card list stretched across history. And then, almost lovingly, almost playfully, he started listing names. There is the Carolinas. There is Georgia. There is a personal favorite, Charleston. He alluded to Annapolis. Then he mentioned Prince William County. Then he mentioned Williamsburg. And every royal watcher in the room, every commentator following the live feed, every analyst studying the speech, was holding their breath. Waiting for the inevitable. Waiting for the king to say, Sussex County. It never came. It never came. Sussex County, a real American county with real American history, deeply tied to British settlement on the eastern seaboard, was conspicuously, deafeningly, undeniably absent from the list. And it was not just Sussex. There was no mention of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There was no mention of Henry, West Virginia. There is even a town called Markle in Indiana. Yes, an actual town called Markle. Did Markle, Indiana make it into the king's speech? It did not. Not a single linguistic glance in the direction of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The names connected to nearly every other quietly significant British connection were delivered with warmth and affection, while the names connected to Harry and Meghan were quietly, deliberately, surgically left on the cutting room floor. Now, in fairness, Prince Andrew's Air Force Base also did not receive a mention, and we can probably understand why a king on a delicate diplomatic visit might choose to leave the name Andrew off the speaking notes. But the omission of the Sussex-related names did not feel accidental. It felt like a message. A deliberate, encoded message. A beautifully diplomatic message, delivered in front of the President of the United States, broadcast around the world, and disguised as a softly charming reflection on American geography. And this is the part that should feel like a dagger to Prince Harry. Genuinely, I do not think Meghan particularly cares either way. She is too busy fighting battles with Anna Wintour and Nicole Levant. But for Harry, his own father, his own family, now appears to be publicly writing him out of royal history. Not through a leaked memo. Not through a quiet private conversation. But through a speech at a state dinner, delivered in front of the President of the United States and broadcast around the world, the most permanent, most carefully curated kind of erasure there is. Robert Hardman, the British journalist who reported the snub theory, almost certainly understood exactly where the signals in this story were coming from. After the state visit, Hardman went to the Oval Office and spoke directly with President Donald Trump. And the messaging continued to flow. So when the Daily Mail later reported that King Charles had deliberately snubbed Prince Harry during the state dinner speech, in front of President Trump, the chain of evidence behind the story became about as clear as royal reporting ever gets. The president himself, the public expression of disapproval, the careful omission of the names, all of it pointing in the same direction. Think about what Harry could have had during this state visit if he had handled the original Megxit even half competently. He did not need to remain inside the working royal family. Nobody was demanding that. But if he had navigated the exit with grace, discretion, and the basic dignity expected of a former senior royal, he could have remained a soft, occasional extension of the monarchy in the United States. Look at Princess Madeleine of Sweden. She lived in the United States for years. She still carried out duties on behalf of the Swedish monarchy from time to time. She lived a mostly private life. She kept the door open. She wove her American life and her royal responsibilities together with care and restraint. Quiet professionalism. That door, the door Princess Madeleine walked through, is the exact door Harry burned to the ground. So now, Harry has effectively been set adrift. He is on his own. And the only realistic question now is whether King Charles, or perhaps Prince William when his time eventually comes, will make that separation permanent by formally removing Harry's place in the line of succession and stripping him of his remaining royal titles. The pattern is already being laid. The signals are already being sent. And every single one of them appeared, in coded form, throughout that one speech in Washington. But this is where the story takes its most extraordinary turn. So do not move. Do not click away. Because while one side of the Atlantic watches Meghan Markle's Hollywood empire seemingly collapse in slow motion, the other side of the Atlantic has just released a series of images that may become one of the most strategically effective pieces of royal communication all year. Princess Charlotte, now 11 years old. Over the weekend, we received some genuinely lovely images celebrating Princess Charlotte's 11th birthday. And this is becoming a really beautiful tradition that the Prince and Princess of Wales are quietly establishing. This time, the Wales family did not just release a still photograph. They released video. They released movement. They released personality. And the personality on display was magnetic. There she was, the future Princess Royal, bowling in cricket with the kind of natural athletic confidence you only tend to see in children who are genuinely raised outdoors, on real grass, in real weather. The video was gently paired alongside Prince Louis's cricket footage from his own birthday earlier in the year, and you could almost watch, in real time, a sporting family of 3 children growing up in front of the nation. And it was not just the cricket. The video also highlighted Charlotte's love of animals, her love of nature, and her complete ease in the countryside. Outdoors. None of it looked staged. None of it looked forced. Just a young girl growing up under the careful watch of 2 parents who are quietly, methodically, and brilliantly raising the future of the British monarchy. And here is the contrast nobody can avoid. While one duchess in California is fighting tooth and nail for an invitation to a Met Gala that has already moved past her, the other royal family across the Atlantic is releasing video of an 11-year-old princess bowling at cricket in a meadow. One side is desperately chasing relevance. The other side is quietly, organically generating it. And the public is watching. The public is watching very, very carefully. Now, to the next chapter, and this is the chapter where most royal commentators get the analysis catastrophically wrong. So I want you to pay very close attention to what I am about to say. There has been mounting pressure on Prince William over recent months to reveal his tax affairs. And over the weekend, on the front page of the Sunday Times here in the United Kingdom, we finally received the confirmation many people had been waiting for. Prince William pays an income tax bill of up to £7 million. £7 million a year. That figure puts the heir to the throne in the top 0.002% of all taxpayers in the entire United Kingdom. Let me put that in human terms for you. Out of every 50,000 taxpayers in this country, William is paying more than 49,999 of them. He sits at the absolute, vertiginous, jaw-dropping summit of the British Tax Contribution League table. And he has held that position quietly, without fanfare, without a press release, year after year after year. For years, William has resisted calls to reveal his tax bill, citing the same rights shared by any private citizen. The majority of his income comes from the more than £20 million per year he receives from the Duchy of Cornwall, a private estate of land worth somewhere in the region of £1.1 billion, bestowed upon every heir to the throne since the 14th century. The 14th century. Think about that for a moment. The 14th century, when Geoffrey Chaucer was still writing poetry, when the Black Death was still within living memory, and when the foundations of the modern English language were still being laid. That is how long this estate has quietly funded the heir to the throne. However, Prince William has faced increasing pressure over transparency following an investigation by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 dispatches. That investigation revealed that the Duchy of Cornwall and the Duchy of Lancaster, the duchy traditionally awarded to the monarch, were making millions by charging the army, the navy, the National Health Service, and schools to use their land, rivers, and seashores. Some of those leases have since been renegotiated. Neither King Charles nor Prince William had previously declared their tax details publicly in the wake of that reporting, until now. In the 2023 to 2024 financial year, the first year in which William personally oversaw the Duchy of Cornwall, he reportedly received a record surplus of £23.6 million. Of that, approximately £13.5 million is believed to be taxable, with William's total income tax bill estimated to fall somewhere between £5 million and £7 million. And a Kensington Palace spokesperson confirmed that the Prince of Wales pays the top rate of income tax and capital gains tax, 45%, on all of his personal income, including receipts from the duchy. He is paying every penny he owes. He is paying at the highest legal rate. He is, in a very literal sense, one of Britain's single biggest taxpayers. So the question becomes, will it ever be enough? And here is the difficult, uncomfortable, but deeply important answer. It will never be enough. The fact that Prince William is paying up to £7 million in income tax and sits within the top 0.002% of contributors is, for anti-monarchy campaigners, not the finish line. It is the starting line for the next demand. Now they will want regular tax returns. Now they will want disclosure of every penny of family expenditure. Now they will want capital gains breakdowns. Now they will want trust filings. Now they will want item-by-item household accounts. The list of demands does not shrink when ground is conceded. The list grows. Because the transparency trap is real. The moment you give critics ground, they ask for more. Then they ask for more after that. And then more again. The strategic question for William is not whether to be transparent. It is how transparent to be, and at what precise point transparency itself begins to create a structural vulnerability for the institution. And this is the part that needs to be said plainly. The Duchy of Cornwall has been criticized in some corners for charging organizations such as the Royal Navy, the National Health Service, the Army, and certain schools to use its land, rivers, and seashores. The implication in some of that reporting is that this arrangement is somehow unfair. But ask yourself this: what other landowner would behave differently? Land is not free. Stewardship of land is not free. Maintenance, conservation, infrastructure, insurance, none of it is free. The Duchy of Cornwall charges fees in the same way any professionally managed estate would. And the entire structural purpose of the duchy is precisely this: to allow the heir to the throne to remain financially independent, self-sufficient, and not dependent on direct taxpayer funding in the way many critics would otherwise demand. And consider this: the Duchy of Cornwall has belonged to the heir to the throne since the 14th century. If anti-monarchy campaigners ever succeeded in dismantling the British monarchy, would the duchy simply revert to the state? Or would it legally remain in the private hands of the family that has controlled it for 7 centuries? Because the uncomfortable truth is that many critics of the institution may not have fully thought through the long-term implications of their own argument. A transparency campaign, taken to its logical conclusion, could ultimately leave the family with enormous private wealth but free from many of the public obligations currently attached to the monarchy. That is not necessarily the trade most campaigners actually want to make. They just may not realize it yet. So, in my view, Prince William emerges from this story relatively well. Critics will continue to shout. The Sunday Times will continue its investigations. The demands for ever greater transparency will continue. But William is paying more income tax than almost anyone else in the country. And he is doing it quietly, without fanfare, without turning it into a public relations campaign. And, in the end, that is what the institution at its best is supposed to look like. So here is where we arrive tonight. 2 parallel pictures. 2 royal lives separated by an ocean, and separated by almost everything that truly matters. In Montecito, California, you have a duchess being frozen out of nearly every meaningful Hollywood circle. The Met Gala invitation that never arrived. The Bezos wedding that quietly happened without her. The Vogue door that now appears permanently sealed shut. The Netflix relationship cooling by the day. The Kardashians moving on. A husband being publicly written out of his own family's story at a state dinner by his own father, in front of the President of the United States. And on the other side of the Atlantic, in the United Kingdom, you have a Prince of Wales paying up to £7 million a year in income tax. A Princess of Wales raising children whom visiting American athletes describe with genuine, unprompted warmth and admiration. An 11-year-old girl bowling at cricket in a meadow in her birthday video. A young family being carefully, patiently, and generationally prepared to inherit one of the oldest and most resilient institutions on Earth. One side is burning bridges as quickly as it can find them. The other side is building them, brick by quiet brick, year by careful year. Time is the longest, slowest, and most patient weapon any monarchy has ever possessed. And with every passing year that Meghan Markle spends fighting for a Met Gala invitation she may never receive, William and Catherine spend that same time quietly, methodically, and almost invisibly raising the next generation of the British royal family. One side burns. The other side builds. And 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, only one of those bets is likely to pay off.